This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, ex-cyclone Gita is heading offshore but not before making its presence known. Spokes Dunedin hosted the 4th annual bike breakfast this morning. And the country's top cyclists are in Invercargill this week for the Under-19 National Track Championships. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Cyclone Gita made its impact felt across New Zealand yesterday and last night, including the northern part of the South Island. The South Today was in Greymouth when the storm struck.
Warnings of strong winds came true for Greymouth yesterday as the town was lashed by Cyclone Gita. About 100 tourists were trapped overnight in South Westland despite warnings to stay away. The closure of State Highway 6 meant that 42 Chinese tourists were forced to spend a night sleeping in 2 buses at Whataroa, just south of Greymouth. Westland Civil Defence expressed disappointment that tours were still operating despite warnings. Heavy rain caused flooding in Nelson, forcing over 130 people to spend the night in welfare centres. And floods also closed roads such as the Takaka Hill Road, the only road access to Golden Bay. The road was washed out in several places by huge slides of mud and trees, and it is expected to be several days before it can be reopened. Across the South Island, states of emergency were declared in the Nelson Tasman region, Selwyn District, Grey District, Buller and Westland. The rain is expected to ease from now on, and the absence of high tides has meant that some low-lying areas got off lighter than they might otherwise have. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
Following on from the previous story, the remnants of ex-tropical cyclone Gita have dropped a solid amount of rainfall across the country. A drought status was called for Otago and Southland earlier this year. But is the South still in a drought?
It may have seemed obvious to these University of Otago students and staff as they hid under umbrellas or dashed between buildings, but according to climatologist Daniel Kingston, Dunedin is no longer in a period of drought.
No, is the simple answer. There are parts of central Otago and Southland that are still classified as very dry, but they're rapidly moving out of those dry conditions.
Kingston says the steady rainfall is one indication that for this part of the country at least, the long dry spell has ended.
There are lots of different ways that we can classify drought, whether that's by the amount of rain that we've received, how wet the soil is, or how much water's in our rivers. And droughts in rainfall happen quite quickly and they disappear quite quickly, whereas river flow droughts are a lot slower to develop and a lot slower to be relieved as well.
The Otago Regional Council reports the region's rivers are all significantly high, following more than 24 hours of steady rain. Kingston says there are some meteorological factors which show climate change is happening.
So big rain events do happen. And they'll obviously continue to happen. What we'd expect under climate change is for those high rainfall events just to get a bit higher as the atmosphere warms and it can hold more moisture.
The remnants of ex-tropical cyclone Gita are expected to dissipate over the next few hours. Daryl Baser, The South Today.
Spokes Dunedin hosted the 4th annual Go By Bike Day breakfast in the Octagon today. The breakfast was free for anyone who arrived in the Octagon by bike.
Cyclone Gita sweeping by Dunedin did not deter about 50 cyclists from turning out for a bite of breakfast in the Octagon today to mark Go Bike Day.
We just at Otago Girls and we just rode down because we're doing a bike unit at school.
Looking forward to hot breakfast?
I'm trying to get fit and my friend and I were meeting each other, so we were committed. It was cold this morning, but we're here now.
Go Bike Day aims to raise awareness of cyclists, and Dunedin organiser Ilka Fedor says while there has been positive momentum on cycle lanes from the City Council, there's still more work to be done.
I guess it's not really about speed, it's about it being done in a safe way. Of course we'd like things to be done today, but the main thing is that it's done in a safe way and that cyclists are protected.
Some riders had travelled all the way from Canada and Korea for the event.
Hilly, very hilly, and someone needs to talk to the planners who decided to build a street as a wall, but otherwise it's pretty good.
What's it like cycling in Dunedin streets compared to Korea?
It's less crowded, like much less cars, so it's much easier to bike once.
What do you think about the weather though?
It's worse in Korea, I think.
Despite the conditions, this rider was celebrating his 6th bike breakfast and clocking more than 1 million Ks. Participants were treated to a full breakfast and hot cup of tea or coffee, while the breakfast was also shared with those who might not get a meal otherwise. The event coincides with February's Aotearoa Bike Challenge, where workplaces across New Zealand challenge each other to see who can have the most employees cycling to work in the month of February. Roselle Lebone, The South Today.
February is usually the height of summer, but visitors to the Southern Lakes area could be forgiven for thinking otherwise. While much of the country felt the heavy rain from Cyclone Gita, the rain was swapped for snow on the southern mountains. Cardrona got a 15 centimetre dump of the cold fluffy stuff yesterday, and last night it was still snowing there this morning. Higher areas reported an even deeper blanket of snow. However, with sunshine and temperatures in the early 20s forecast over the next few days, the snow is unlikely to remain there for long. The country's top cyclists are in Invercargill this week for the Elite and Under-19 Track National Championships. Cyclists will race at Invercargill's Velodrome over the 5-day event, which is regarded as the premier national track cycling event in New Zealand.
Over 100 cyclists from around the country made their way to Invercargill's Velodrome today for the first day of the Elite and Under-19 Track National Championships. While the championships host some of the best cyclists in the country, they're also a big chance for young riders to further themselves in the sport.
We've got the best, pretty much the best riders in the country, barring the handful that are off to the World Champs. Unfortunately, it's on at the same time because Commonwealth Games have been brought forward this year. But the best riders in the country, and we've got a whole lot of under-19 sort of vying for sort of national selection as well. They want to be noticed and be part of that high performance program going forward.
The day started with the under-19 women taking to the track 2 at a time for the 2,000 metre individual pursuit, and were followed by the elite men's 4,000 metre individual pursuit, with the fastest 4 from each going on to tonight's finals. Southern paracyclist Hannah Pascoe, who was born with congenital glaucoma, and her tandem pilot Nina Wollaston of Auckland, said they're using the event as a stepping stone as they prepare for next month's Paracycling World Championships in Rio de Janeiro. Despite only having been paired for a few months, the cyclists say their first event of the championships was a personal success.
Surprisingly, we've done a PB since we've been riding together. Yeah, I thought it went really well. Our goal was to get a PB in the start lap, personal best, because that's one of our main work-ons, and we did like a 1.2 second PB, so we're really happy with that. The coach was happy, so that's all we can ask for really.
To wrap up the first session, awards were presented for the paracycling time trial finals, in which Pascoe and Wollaston placed second. Organisers said while today was just a light session to ease cyclists into the event, from tomorrow morning the competition will really heat up. Sharon Rees, The South Today.
Still to come on The South Today, Otago University shows us what makes glowworms tick, and an international clay target shooting competition fires up at Enfield.
For all your news from the southern regions as it happens, go to our Facebook page. The South Today, connecting you with your community thanks to New Zealand On Air.
For 3 generations, the Kilpatrick family have ensured Jimmy's pies are still world famous in the South Island. Made to an old family recipe, Jimmy's pies have been one of New Zealand's traditional takeaway foods, prepared daily on the premises alongside a range of savouries, sausage rolls and cakes. Jimmy's pies are distributed throughout the lower South Island. Jimmy's pies are sure to satisfy your travelling munchies.
The Terminus Apartments, where heritage meets modern sophistication and where the past is Dunedin's future. These 1 or 2 bedroom apartments are fitted with modern amenities, room to move and spectacular harbour and city views. Contact us now to have your piece of luxury.
Hi, Lindsay at Alex Campbell Menswear. We have our 3 stores on sale. It's our summer clearance sale. Look at all these t-shirts, 50% off. Look at all these polo shirts, 50% off. Look at all these woven shirts, short sleeves, 50% off. And there's more. Shorts. All these shorts, 50% off.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
But wait, there's more. 25% off all our regular lines off the normal price.
Calling all Otago superheroes, the 2018 Relay for Life needs your team. On March 17 and 18, the relay teams will join together to create one of the most inspiring events, helping not only to raise funds but also to remember those who have fallen to cancer or are struggling with it. To register your team, simply go to the website and sign on, then start fundraising. It's about celebrating, remembering and fighting back. Be a superhero and register now at relayforlife.org.nz.
Why wait for seed to germinate? Why not do it the smart way? For instant results, call Ready Lawn today, or for more information, go to readylawn.co.nz.
Free heart transmission. Please open your heart.
Qi is flowing freely. Qi is nourishing. Qi is loving.
Call Sunny Chin for peace in your heart.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
Tune in this Thursday, 7:30 p.m. for the highlights of the 2018 Birdman Road Challenge.
Welcome back. University of Otago chemistry and biochemistry researchers have discovered how New Zealand glowworms produce their glow. And their research may have positive outcomes in battling cancer and other illnesses.
A multi-year study of the bioluminescence produced by New Zealand glowworms has been published this week in the respected online science journal Scientific Reports. Researchers have discovered the glowworms produce their light using a chemical reaction that is different to all other glowing creatures like fireflies. And the chemical that creates their glow could have important uses in the medical biotechnology sector, monitoring cancer cells and identifying infectious diseases.
If you can make things glow using small molecular tools, you can use them in the laboratory. So you could actually ask a question of like, why do cancer cells, why are they cancerous? Or is this cell affected by an infectious disease? You can sort of interrogate the cell by finding out, is there a particular protein made or a gene made, and then have that protein interact with a glowing chemical from the glowworm.
The chemistry behind some bioluminescent species, such as fireflies, is already used in scientific experiments worldwide. Researchers believe the chemistry of the glowworms means their light could be used in similar kinds of experiments.
The glowworm uses a very similar enzyme to what fireflies use, even though they're, evolutionarily speaking, millions and millions of years apart from each other. And yet, the small molecule that they use is totally different from everything else that's been studied before.
The next step is in the lab synthesising the chemical compound that makes glowworms glow. The research team hope to secure funding to begin this synthesis and to continue their work. Roselle Lebone, The South Today.
Oamaru is hosting New Zealand's Clay Target Shooting Championships this year. The event has attracted competitors from across New Zealand as well as overseas. The South Today found out more.
A series of New Zealand clay target shooting competitions is being held in Enfield, just inland from Oamaru, throughout this week. The events are being held on the property of farmer Phil Brown, who is a keen shooter himself.
So I've been shooting for about 5 or 6 years. My uncle and cousin got me into it, and it's developed from there, and I went through and I've managed to get into the New Zealand team. So yeah, it's a really enjoyable sport.
About 150 shooters are competing from around New Zealand, plus Australia and New Caledonia. Brown said the visitors were enjoying their time on the range.
Oh, they've loved it here so far, the Australians, and yeah, and they just like the terrain and rolling, and it hasn't been too hot for them.
Luckily, the weather has not put too much of a dampener on the events.
The rain, it makes it a lot harder to shoot, but everybody still enjoyed it, and at least there was no winds to upset the target flights.
The conclusion of the Clay Bird Shooting National Championships is scheduled to begin on Friday. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, classic Ford Thunderbirds make a grander entrance at the Ashburton Rock and Roll Club, and we see if there's any improvement in tomorrow's weather.
Hi, Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Once again, we've opened up a pop-up store in George Street, right beside McDonald's. We've got up to 70% savings on normal retail. There's some great buys. We have socks right through to suits, everything in between. We'll see you there. The Alex Campbell Menswear pop-up. Don't miss it.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Why wait for seed to germinate? Why not do it the smart way? For instant results, call Ready Lawn today, or for more information, go to readylawn.co.nz.
135 Cumberland Street is a brand new, recently listed Category 1 heritage building right in Dunedin's warehouse precinct. Only a short walk to the Octagon in the central city. These are warm, well-insulated, self-contained apartments with all you need for a short or long stay. With beautiful views onto the harbour, these Airbnbs at 135 Cumberland Street come highly recommended for your stay in Dunedin.
I'm not happy with this product demonstration, Ralphie. Oh, relax. It's all about balance. The balance between softness and strength. And my balance is perfect. So we won't fall? Of course not.
Hi, Ralphie.
Oh, hey, whoa. You fell for it. Yep, I fell for it. Cotton Softs. Softness and strength you can trust. I'm Cotton Soft on the environment too.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 15 years. New doors, replacement doors, repairs and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team at 553 Kaikoura Valley Road. Visit www.garrador.co.nz or call us on 488 5676.
Active Interior Design in Mornington are the curtain and blind experts. The team can even advise you on outdoor products like awnings and umbrellas, and will ensure that everything is perfect. For interior design with flair, call Active to book your free in-home consultation or call into the showroom in Mornington.
Helping New Zealanders to do more. Talk to MTF today.
Tune in this Thursday, 7:30 p.m. for the highlights of the 2018 Bird Munro Challenge.
Thanks for staying with us. The Ashburton Rock and Roll Club is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. Some of the club's members not only do the dance moves of the 1950s, but own cars from that era too. The South Today met up with some of them.
Marie Allen and her husband Gordon embrace the style, dance and dress of the 1950s. But unlike most people, the couple and their son have taken their interest a step further by each owning a classic Ford Thunderbird from that era.
We love the music and we love dressing up. We each own a T-Bird. My son owns the 59, I own the 57.
Marie is proud of her 60-year-old cruiser.
My car's a 57 Thunderbird. It's a 3-speed manual. It is also a convertible, and it is quite distinct in the fact that it has the porch hole window in the hardtop.
Their son Sean has a 1959 Thunderbird which belonged to Marie's late brother John and was an early 21st birthday present from his parents.
As I said, it was a 352 FE Ford engine. I rebuilt this engine about 4 years ago and I've still got a wee bit left to do.
The Ashburton Rock and Roll Club meet up every Sunday evening for a dance and dance lessons. The next major event on their calendar is the Caroline Bay Rock and Hop in mid-March. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Cyclone Gita made its impact felt across New Zealand yesterday and last night, including the northern part of the South Island. Spokes Dunedin hosted the 4th annual Go By Bike Day breakfast in the Octagon today. Breakfast was free for anyone who arrived by bike. And the Under-19 National Track Cycling Championships will race at Invercargill's Velodrome over the 5-day event, which is regarded as the premier national track cycling event in New Zealand. And now time for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Craig Page. What have you got for us in tomorrow's newspaper?
Good evening. Yeah, a bit of a wrap of the weather obviously, and the end of Cyclone Gita as well. Plenty of rain in Dunedin, but fortunately none of the flooding that we were expecting. We've got some wonderful pics on the Crown Range though of some people spending their summer holidays playing in snow up there today. So yeah, bizarre old place. And we've also got a bit of a follow-up to the last deluge in February 1, where I think 109 millimetres of rain we had. Fulton Radius Rest Home was particularly badly hit, evacuated all their residents. They're going to finally be able to get home next week, so that's almost a month since they were forced out.
I was going to say, they're just going back now.
Yeah, they are. They be back next week, and they've had to send some to Invercargill and other rest homes as well. But it's raised some concerns from them about the future viability on that site. It's the third time I think in 12 months that they've been flooded out, and yeah, some of the managers there have got some issues in discussions with the DCC to try and sort that out, because it's really not a situation that they can afford to be in. Fully orientation page again tomorrow, lots of coverage there. We've been down to the IUSA rummage sale. Plenty of students out looking for a bargain and looking to fill their wardrobes. And tonight, of course, we've got the toga party. Thousands of, sheet-clad students heading to the stadium in freezing temperatures. So we'll be there tonight. Lots of photos and lots of videos on our website this evening, and plenty of coverage tomorrow as well.
Wonderful.
And finally, just sport. We've got the big 2020 game tonight as well. Black Caps in Australia for that tri-series. So we'll full coverage of that in tomorrow's paper.
Lovely, and you can catch all that in tomorrow's ODT, and let's hope those students rug up for the weather tonight. And now it's time for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by MoleMap.
Today's southern view is of the Dunedin's Leith River in high flow. Looking at the situation, the cool southwesterly airflow will ease tomorrow and die out on Friday as an anticyclone moves across the Tasman Sea towards New Zealand. As this moves away at the weekend, a milder airflow will develop. Taking a look at the southern towns, Balclutha, Catlins, Gore and Lumsden are all becoming fine with moderate winds and a high of 15. Glancing at Central, it's light to moderate southwesterlies and clear skies, with Alexandra peaking at 20, Queenstown and Wanaka 18 and Te Anau at 15. Looking further north along the coast, it should be decreasing winds, mostly fine, 16 for Timaru and 15 for Oamaru inland. Amarama and Twizel are in for light winds, fine weather and a high of 18. In Dunedin, the showers should be clear tonight with an overnight low of 10, cloud breaking tomorrow with sunny periods increasing during the afternoon, and fresh cool winds slowly easing during the day, 15 and 10. Fine on Friday with sunny periods and some cloud and fresh breezy winds, 15 and 8. And in Invercargill, it will be mostly cloudy tonight with a low of 7, becoming fine and sunny during the morning with light southerly winds, but not very warm, 14 and 8. Expect a period of showers on Friday with cool winds, freshening then clearing. The temperatures are 14 and a very chilly 6 as the overnight low. That's our news for this Wednesday. For the latest news from the Southern region, you can follow us on Facebook and at channel39.co.nz. I hope you all have a great evening. Take care. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.